Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showing you how to set up a basic ESX framework FiveM server. I will be walking you through everything from start to finish on how to set it up. So let's get into it. First we're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need, store these pages here, we're going to need XAMPP or XAMPP, however you prefer to pronounce it. To me, it's XAMPP. You're going to want to download the version that is right for you, because I am running a Windows 11 environment. We're going to be looking at the Windows section. If you're running Linux or Mac OS X, your installs may vary, but we're going to be using Windows. So we're going to install this version right here. I always go with the top version. Does not really matter. Our download should start automatically. Yep, there we go. And this is something that we're going to need. So that's something that we need. And we also need to download FiveSQL, because this is actually going to allow us to see our database. And now we can move to our downloads. So you see we should have two things recently downloaded. First, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to install XAMPP. It is very, very important. It is going to be a piece of software that is crucial for when running a FiveM server on your own computer. This warning here, it can be ignored. You want to click Next, 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 and it's going to start unpacking and installing the files. So what this is going to allow us to do is it's going to look a little something like this once it installs. The only thing that we care about is this right here, the MySQL portion. So we will be right back once this installs. Okay, so during your install process, you may see this, actually you will see this pop up here. What you want to do is you just want to click Allow Access. It's going to finish. Do we want to launch the control panel now? Yes, that is something we want to do. And as you can see here, our XAMPP control panel is installed. So I'm going to pin it to the taskbar. And I'm going to close out of it for now, because now we need to set up and install FiveSQL. This is how we're actually going to access our database. It is a very, very great tool. You can also use the web version of PHPMyAdmin, but unless you know how to use PHPMyAdmin, I would stray away from that, and I would 100% and definitely use FiveSQL. Everything that is shown in this video will be linked down below for you to download. So we're going to install for all users, recommend it. There's only one user on this machine, and it is just this account. So we're going to accept the terms and agreements. Just going to click next all the way through. Let's see here. You want to keep all of this stuff checked here. You can. This is the only thing that doesn't really matter. Click next, install, and this will not take long to install. And then you can click finish and launch FiveSQL. So now what we need to do is we need to go back to our XAMPP, have this guy pulled up here, and we want to start MySQL and then click Allow Access. So what that's going to do is that's going to start up the MySQL protocol on your system and on your home network to allow you to be able to connect to databases. So we're going to minimize out of that. Keep it minimized. Do not close out of that. That is very, very crucial. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new database over here in HiveMSQL by clicking New Data. By clicking New. Delete this here. Click New, and it'll create this as your local host. You can name this whatever you want. I'm just going to double click on it and open it. So you can see we have some stuff here. Leave those alone. Those don't need to be touched. We are done with HiveMSQL for the moment, so we can close out of it. Now it's actually setting up your FiveM server. When hosting a server off of a system that you own, whether it be the computer that you are currently watching this video on, or what is highly, highly, highly recommended, a computer that you can sit on a shelf, have sitting beside you on your desk by your computers, and just stay turned on 24/7. Something that is separate from the computer that you are working with, because as I can show you with my computer, if we go into Task Manager here, and we head over to Performance, I have a pretty beefy computer. I still do not host my servers on here, because as I haven't turned it off in a week, I do typically turn my computer off relatively regularly. And you don't want to be taking up all of your resources on your computer that you're going to be playing FiveM on, or any other video game for that matter, because it will bog down and limit your overall performance in the game. As you can see, we do not have much RAM to work with here. So we can close out of that for the moment. We want to create your own server, and then you want to hit host your own server. And then over here is we're going to click Windows Setup Guide Vanilla. And then you want to go to Windows Server Build Listing. And I recommend downloading the latest. So at the time of recording this, this was a few days ago. 2 days ago to be exact. So you click on that. The download starts. And as you can see, we have our file right here. It's not going to open for me because I do not have anything installed. Slight oversight when setting this system up. I will be back in one moment. Okay, so now that I have a piece of software downloaded that's going to allow me to open the file, I recommend WinRAR if you need to download one yourself. Link will be down in the description to the download link for that. So now that we have the piece of software downloaded that will allow us to open the file, we want to open up the archive file. In this case, it's our WinRAR archive file. And we want to find a location to store our FiveM server. I'm personally going to do it on my desktop in this tutorial, but you can do it wherever you particularly prefer. Whether it be your documents inside your pictures folder, your music, your videos, your downloads, wherever. Personally, for the sake of this tutorial, I am going to create a new folder on my desktop and call it FiveM. And inside of that folder, I am going to create another new folder, and I am going to call it Server. And inside of this server folder, we are going to put all of these files. So simply Control A when clicked inside the server folder, or inside the server archive, and then drag and drop everything over into the FiveM server folder that you have created. The next step that you want to do is you want to start the FX launcher. And then you want to allow access. And we should have a pop-up somewhere. Okay, so it went away. So what we're going to do is we are going to reopen up Chrome, open up a new tab, and go to localhost : 4120, I believe. Oh, numpad is not enabled. I believe it is 4120. I forgot the 0. 4120. We are going to type in our access code. In this case, it is 7816. Now, if you open this with the pop-up, it'll pop up, hey, open this in whatever browser that you happen to use, or it will automatically open up inside of your default browser. So we're going to link account, and it's going to take us over to the forums. I am going to sign into my forums account, which this is how you set up the master account. So if you do not have a FiveM forums account, I recommend creating one. So we're going to click continue. Not going to save the password. We're going to create a backup password. And we're going to check that we have read and agreed to all of cfx.re's terms of services as well as the TX admin license. And then we're going to create master account. So now we are here. This is where things get fun. FiveM is finally at a point where we no longer need to go hunting for resources, where we need to make sure that we have everything started and created in a massive, massive list like I've done in tutorials in the past. So what we are going to do is we are going to click Next, server name. We're going to call this FiveM Tutorial Server. Going to click Next again. And here's where things get interesting. We're going to use what is recommended. We're going to click Recommended, and then we are going to use ESX Legacy. You can use QB Core, but personally, I would recommend using ESX Legacy, as I personally have not dove into QB Core, and I do not have any plans in the near future to make any tutorials on it. I'm sure there are great tutorials out there, but for this instance, we are using ESX Legacy. And here's where I'm going to make a change. It wants to save it to my OneDrive. We want to change that path. So we want to go back into our server folder, and we just want to go in to here, copy, and right here. Oh, so it's the same. Okay, because, yeah, it's using... That is my bad, guys. I saw the OneDrive thing, and it threw me off. It's because it's also backing up to my OneDrive. That's how this system is set up. That is my bad. Keep it default. So we're going to save, and we're going to go to Recipe Deployer. All of this can stay the same. This is just to download everything that's needed off of GitHub. We click Next, and then it's going to ask for your FiveM license key. You're going to want to go head over to Keymaster. You're going to want to sign into Keymaster using your FiveM account, and it's going to give you a bunch of different keys. We're going to go here to where I have mine set as dev server. Going to click on that, and it's going to open up, and we are going to copy the license key. We're going to head back to our server deployer, and we are going to paste in our license key, and then we are going to hit Run Recipe. And it's going to create everything and download everything that is needed for the FiveM server. We will be back momentarily once it is completed. Okay, so now that our server is finished installing, what we can do is we can click Next, and it's going to bring up all of this. It's going to give us our add-ons, and ensure additional resources. In here you can change whatever you want this to be. Do not touch the license key. Everything else can stay default unless you want to personally go in and change things. So what we're going to do now is we're going to save and run server. So if we go to our dashboard, you can see it's booting everything up. We can go to the live console. And you can see everything is going on here. So if we go back, we should see the server is online. Most of you will not run into network thread hitch, warning, timer, interval, blah, blah, blah. And it will not throw out errors. I am showing you how to do this all on a virtual machine. So right now, everything is pinned at 100%, which is fine for this tutorial. So now, ESX requires a database. Where's our database? In what we set up earlier, we can now go into hide SQL. It should open. Can click open. And you will see here ESX legacy followed by a bunch of letters and numbers. And everything that is needed for a default FiveM server will be here. So let's see. Are we able to connect to our server? Well, let's find out. Let's open up FiveM. As you can see, I made a test server here. And one thing you want to do when developing your own FiveM server is you want to go into Settings, Interface, I actually don't remember where this is. It may just show by default now. I'm not 100% sure, but there used to be a section. This is how long since for those of you watching this tutorial, that's how long it's been since I've actually gone in and configured my FiveM settings. But you should see a connect to, for my case, it's FiveM tutorials on LAN. That is the name of the system. We click that, and boom. We are connecting to our FiveM server. It'll take a second, but we will log in, we will drop, and we will be able to make our account. Hi, we'll just do 192, make sure mail is clicked, go, and boom. There you go. You are now logged in, running around, playing on your very own FiveM server. And here's how we can check to make sure that, well, is there any players online? Well, we can see me here. We can look at IDs, and you can see all the different IDs, including hardware IDs, identifiers. So what we want to do now is we want to make ourselves an admin. It is very, very important that you make yourself an admin of your own FiveM server. So we're going to copy the license from the player over here. So it'd be under IDs. You copy that. And then we go into CFG editor. Oh. So it's already added. It should add you by default to it. But you can also do add underscore principal identifier dot and that. And then you want to type in group dot admin, and I recommend putting the little hashtag followed by which user it is linked to. It is very important that you do that. It's not required at all, but it's something that I very, very, very strongly recommend, as if you continue to add admins as your server grows, it's going to be crucially important that you're able to know which identifier goes with which person. But we already have that. So guys, with all of that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all back here again. Goodbye.